Hello, this is Paul, and welcome back to the Oaken Night, where we will be playing turn 6 of the campaign scenario. There are a number of interesting things going on in the game right now, chief among which, if you look at the screen in front of you, you'll see Arnhem, and you will not see any British units in Arnhem. The Germans were able to crush Colonel Frost and his battalion after it was damaged in its attack to take the bridge. It had taken a step loss on turn 2. And when the Germans got sufficient strength together, along with some artillery, they were able to crush Colonel Frost in short order. So this is going to make a different sort of game. We'll see where it goes. Turn 6 is also a big reinforcement turn, and you can see the stacks of paratroopers that are going to be coming in, assuming we get some decent weather for them to land in. Most likely it'll take them a few turns for them all to come in. We'll see what we roll for weather. And the Germans continue to get new units all around the periphery of the map and are getting to the point where they can start doing some attacking, as we saw last turn. Let us start with the weather roll for the turn and see how we're going to do. There is a +2 modifier for today's weather, and that's going to do bad things. So let's see where we end up. We rolled a 3, goes to a 5. We have an overcast day, which means there will be no fighter bombers, and none of those parachute reinforcements will enter in the AM turn. So no luck there, no joy, and none of them are going to be able to make it in on turn 6. We'll continue on with the artillery resupply phase. With the bad weather, there will be no resupplying the airborne infantry, and there wasn't any 30th Corps artillery used this last turn, so everybody's all full up. The bridge phase, we'll be doing some reconstruction. We have some bridges that are under repair, and we will complete the repairs and open up those crossings for the use of the Army. We've completed rebuilding a number of bridges in the bridge phase, and since there's no air landing possible because of the weather, we're going to be going straight to the Allied movement phase. Well, as feared by the Germans, the British used the bridges that they have discovered intact and have executed an even more powerful flanking maneuver to get at this guy here who's protecting the backsides of all these guys by the canal. At this point, it's pretty clear they're going to have to continue to run backwards, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get out of there fast enough with all this British armor showing up. We've got excellent odds on an attack on the reduced guy that fell back into the swamps, and because this was all open over here, we were able to just get a single British armored unit from the Guards Armored Division in the rear areas, where they can actually get to the undefended victory hexes in the next move if they stay open. We have an attack going on in Nijmegen. The 30th Corps has arrived, the leading elements, with additional elements following it up. And again, nothing going on in the British zone. They're strictly on defense right now. And we'll see if the Germans want to continue to focus on them or to run down to the road, start giving Nijmegen even more support. Okay, let's go ahead and do the die rolls and see how all these attacks turn out. Let's start with the 5-1 in the swamp. Here we go. A 2. 5-1 with a 2. It's a DRX. That's a DRX is a different sort of result. It's a defend to retreat and an exchange altogether. So normally in an exchange you don't have to retreat, but a DRX you do. And you can see that this attack was led by the paratroopers from the 101st, so they could get the quality shift, and all the other the armor and infantry were in support of that attack. We're going to have the paratroopers go back to their own zone now, and the guards are going to go through the swamps on the road and see what trouble they can cause. One issue is that I don't think we can keep them here too long because they have business over by Nijmegen, and in theory still have to cross the river to get over to where the 1st Airborne is, even though they don't control any bridges in Arnhem. So they can't hang around here forever. But for now, I think they have a lot of leverage right where they are, and I think we need to use it. Okay, and so now we have our flanking force making its attack at 2-1. Not huge odds, but all they have to do is keep pushing them back, and I think those guys behind the canal are just going to have to leave. A 5, that's a good roll. 3-1-5, that's A1D1. Okay, so they take the hit. That's fine, no big deal, because this guy takes his hit. Now, he's in the open. He's not going to fight for that hex. He's just going to go back, take his disruption, and on the road they get to advance 2. Let's see. Let's put the armor down here. We don't want to be too vulnerable by ourselves, but it's awful tempting to go down this road too. It's just lots of things going on. All of them are good. Okay, let's put the infantry down the road here, the armor in the woods over this way, because, well, they're just not that strong there. We're going to give them even more problems getting out than they already have. All right, moving on to the next attack. The 101st has a 3-1 attack on this stack of German units that have come in from entrance area B. This is starting to turn into a back and forth battle where both sides can get sufficient force to attack. And it's a 2. Not that great. 3-1, 2, and exchange. Okay, so we're going to do the exchange, and there'll be no retreating from this hex. It'll simply be losses on both sides. They're grinding on each other pretty good now. And you can see the results of the attack. The Germans took a unit elimination, and you can see the one unit farthest towards the map edge took a step hit. Meanwhile, over at Nijmegen, we have a 3-1 attack. A 6. Well, I think I know what that is. That would be a D1. The Germans take a loss. Let's see, we'll get rid of the junky security unit. And now the Germans have to roll to try to stay in the hex. So in the city with an average quality unit, they need to roll a 3 or better. And so let's see how it goes. A 6. Well, that takes care of that problem, don't it? No losses to either side. The Germans stay put. I think that's the second 6 we've had rolling into here, trying to attack into here. Okay, that's all the attacks for the Allies. I'll do the cleanup. Supplies are good, and we'll go on to the German part of the turn. The Germans have decided to use some delaying tactics over by the canal. They haven't just completely pulled out. Really, they've reinforced. They were able to reinforce the flank with some reinforcements. It's still not going to be enough, but at least it's going to buy them a couple more turns over here while they can pull out in good order. We also managed to get a reinforcement unit into the victory city that was closest to the Allied unit. So at least we have something that it's going to plug the hole temporarily while all these guys come thundering on through. There were no attacks in Nijmegen. However, we did have to make good on the losses that were taken in the last round of attacks. So we have an element of the 10th SS who was able to come up courtesy of the Arnhem Bridge, which is now in German hands completely. And over to Arnhem, we have a attack at 2-1 with some artillery support, trying to kick the British back a little bit more and just continue to cause casualties. This will be the only attack of the turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll it. 2-1, 1. Well, that's not a good thing. 2-1. Okay, A1 engaged. So the attacker takes a hit, and the defender is engaged without any requirement to counterattack. I'll go ahead and take care of this. And here's the result of the attack. Nothing to write home about, really. It's just a German step loss, and that's about it. All right, that is it for turn 6 attacks. We simply have to do the traffic. I'm going to put down some traffic markers. I don't think you need to see that again. I'm going to keep pushing them up towards Nijmegen at this point to continue to slow down any new units that try to arrive. And I put the 2 markers available well forward. One's on the Graaf Bridge and one is the bridge leading into Nijmegen. I rolled a 1 and a 3, and so the Graaf Bridge 1 goes back into the available pool, and the 3, finally we rolled the number that will let us pick up the traffic marker that's way back by the original entry area of 30 core. And with that, we're at the end of turn 6. Thank you for watching the Oaken Knight and our playthrough of Holland 44. My name is Paul, and it's been a pleasure to be with you. Thanks much, and hopefully we'll get another episode up soon.